Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report from Monday, July 31st, 2023. Before I click through the charts, as usual, just want you to please click like if you would, and subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, and share the content if you would with friends and colleagues. And please check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like this: daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, weekly analysis in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor, always looking for 20% moves at least on all those underlying stock picks. We also offer a 5-day free trial at the front end of your subscription. So if you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can bow out and your card will not be charged. So check out wickedstocks.com. Anyway, let's check out the charts. Just a reminder that several months ago, we settled above this longer-term descending channel top that is now at 169.17, then indicating longer-term bullish continuation to the 223.76 rising channel top that I think is still in reach perhaps by the end of the year. Of course, the clock is ticking, but there's still plenty of time for this to play out, and play out it very well may. Let's jump to the daily chart now, and just to remind you that we have this very well defined 4 or 5 month channel structure. This, I guess, is that's about 5 months: March, April, May, June, July. 4 or 5 months. And we're still trading inside of it. It did hold about 3-4 weeks ago. That is now at 203.56. At the time, mentioning a 1 to 2 week drop is quite possible to the channel bottom. We didn't actually test the channel bottom, but it comes in at 191.25 today. So this is still our two-sided framework as we move into later August. Now, Friday's settlement above 195.10. And do I show that anywhere? I actually do not. Anyway, I can describe it by going to, let's see, I'm trying to find the best chart. I'll just go with this one here. The high settlement, following the move high and following Friday's high of 195, the settlement, of course, on Friday was 195.83. Prior to that, it was 195.10. And there's also a series of highs in here that held 195.10 roughly. And so I'm calling that able to contain session weakness. 195.10, decent day support. Upside today, I can mention that the simple trend line off these highs is 196.86. And if we push through 196.86, the actual move high from a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, 198.23 in reach today, where a daily high can be placed. We could double top at 198.23. I consider 195.10, though, the settlement above that level. This is probably a better chart to show it. That settlement price, if there were a horizontal line going across here, I think this is decent day support. And above which, as I've been saying, this area here in reach, maybe this week, I will say that if we close today above 198.23, that within just a few days, we should push into the 202.20 to 203.56 region, rising daily. This band of resistance considered able to contain weekly buying pressures. And from there, 203.56, once again, we could fall back into the lower 190s again within a week or two of doing so. And that is, once again, the two-sided framework. So once again, I'm going to jump to this chart here, 195.10 coming across, able to contain session weakness, above which this trend line at 198.20, 196.86, able to contain intraday strength. But the emphasis is up right now. We've got the up pivot above 195.10. I expect 198.23 over the next day or two. And I expect this upper area here, 202.20 to 203.56, by the end of next week or sooner. And that sooner would come with a settlement today, as I say, above 198.23. Then we're just a few days away from reaching into this important zone of near-term resistance. And closing above a 203.56 is considered a bit of an eventuality, especially over the next week or two. If we happen to test it, we may well close above it on the very next test. And if so, if we close above 203.56 over the next week or two, that indicates 2 to 3 weeks bullish continuation to the 215.50 longer term channel top. Longer term is a 6 or 7 month channel top stemming off that January low area. 215.50, by the way, is as we move into later August. I think August 21st converges with that longer term objective that once again is at 223.76. So as I've been saying, you could consider a settlement above 203.56 to actually be the indication that sooner than later we should reach the 223.76 longer term objective where we can place an annual high. Now, with regard to options, for instance, let me go back to this chart here. We are above 195.10. So that being the case, you might consider actually reaching for a 203, 205 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a couple of weeks, because that is still the play above 195.10. Now, if we happen to break or open below 195.10, 193.22 in reach, and depending on the kind of the volatility of the day, there is the possibility that we could fall into. I've got 194.35 here. I just have it as a minor point as I see these charts. Yes, it has been containing roughly the lows over the last 3 weeks, but we did close just below it on Thursday and came running back up again. So, I'm going to call it a minor point. Very tradable if you're an aggressive day trader. But once again, breaking, especially opening today below 195.10, would allow the possibility for the low 190s intraday, given the recent volatility we've had. So while 193.22, nothing more than the settlement price on Thursday, this reversal, this outside day, this prominent day with the settlement near its lows, that settlement was 193.22. So if we break 195.10, 193.22 I think is likely where we could bottom out on an intraday basis. But if we break 193.22 today, or perhaps open below it, the lower 190s in reach. We've got a lot going on here. We have 190.20, this descending channel bottom. We've got 190.98, not even shown here because I'm really calling it a 1-point zone of support. That is better shown here between 190.20 and 191.25. So if we break or open below 195.10, not only 193.22 in reach, but perhaps the 190.20 to 191.25 region where we could bottom out, not only for the week, but because of that longer term buy signal, I emphasize the channel support as stronger than the channel resistance. And so channel support at 190.20 to 191.25, able to contain selling through August. And once again, once tested, we can rally back up to the 203.56 formation within a couple of weeks of doing so. And perhaps this lower 190s could be considered your bottom picking territory as we move into September trade. We could, off of this test, actually reach that longer term objective once again. Actually, what I would say is once we test this, we should within, I'm going to say 3 to 5 weeks, perhaps a couple of months, reach up to the 215.50 channel top. And by that time, it does indeed coincide, converge, if you will, with the 223.76 long-term channel top. If by surprise we settle today below the 190.20 level, that does tip the market south as we move into later August. So while I'm telling you that this is a prime bottom picking territory as we move through August, and once again, and I'll just go with the options as well, once again, if we happen to test this important area in the 190.20 to 191.25 area today, you could consider reaching for 204, 205, 206 out of the money calls that don't expire for, I would go a month out. Or at that point in time, as I'm saying, this area may well contain selling through August and into September. And once tested, we may actually then reach for this area within a couple of months of doing so. So if we test the low 190s, you may then reach for a more optimally priced 225 out of the money call that doesn't expire for, I'd go 6 months out on this. Maybe 3 at this a 3 month is going to be less costly. Obviously, your chances of seeing the market rally to your strike only to expire worthless is greater with a nearer option. But anyway, so let me get back to this, and this is about the last thing I'm going to say because we're pushing 10 minutes. If we close today below 190.20, that sets off a 2 to 3 week sell signal into the 176.32 to 178.70 region, combination rising channel bottom and 1/3 speed line, able to absorb selling on a monthly basis, quite possibly through the rest of the year. And this would be your next zone to reach for those, 225, 230 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least 6 months if we were to test this area here over the next few weeks. Once again, it's anticipated if we close below 190.20, but until then, it is the low 190s that may well contain selling through the rest of the year, and above which the 223.76 level expected over the months ahead. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's Apple. Please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com. Thanks for watching.